Shalom, shalom, shalom. All honor, praise, and glory be to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Wahab Kadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders over at the great millstone, who I believe to be the true elders of Yasha Allah. Yasha Allah being Hebrew for Israel. Alright, it's a quick watch warn I want to go into. It's your brother Shari Unannounced Shaman. And I'm with the brother right now. You know what I'm saying? We just seen pretty much by the spirit we was out, you know, highways and byways, a lot of Jakes, a lot of Jakes condemning themselves, a lot of people told, man. And obviously one of the things we're telling them about is prophecy, how America's about to be destroyed, and etc. But without any further ado, we end up, was with one of the brothers, and he ended up, we was doing some runs real quick on our way back, you know, and he ended up spotting something in the sky. He said he think he seen the blood moon, but he didn't even go on to say, one of the brothers, and the brother Kabar, Nayam, he ended up seeing pretty much a blood moon. And the way he said it, I knew in his spirit, I'm like, cause you know, somebody like, they, oh, you know, it's like startling. So it's like, you know, brothers being the spirit, man, it better really be something, cause I heard it in spirit. And lo and behold, it was truly a blood moon, unexpected. And the sequencing is so crazy because here it is, we met Jakes that knew the truth, a younger Jake, told he'd been in since he was 12, and then another Jake, younger sister, she was actually being kept by this Jake that knew when he was originally trying to hear it when he seen us on the highways and byways, and he was pulled away by a Jake that was at some big gathering in the spot we was actually supposed to teach in. But nonetheless, they were told, and she was told who she was and etc. And we're warning you people. Our job is to warn. And this blood moon, it represents the death and destruction that's promised to come to the earth, and these things were always foretold about in the scriptures that the Lord was going to do this. So, just letting you see it, not making this up. And we have a brother in Mississippi. He's learning, a guy in Mississippi, he's learning right now, Israelite in Mississippi. This is through the binoculars. And he was told, and guess what? He went out and seen the same thing and took pictures. And it actually turned into blood. But because now when you look at the moon, if you look at the moon from this point on the same night when I make, in which I'm making this video, it won't appear like this anymore. But it's clearly not white at all right now. I'm looking at it. So this is literally what the Lord said. So with that being said, close my face up, and I'm gonna go ahead and go to the scriptures. So my first scripture I will get is the Lord sending warning to this. So this is Joel 3. And we talk about this, I'll get one for behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, you know, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So I just did a lesson on this. It's going into, if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. The head of Lebanon, and how what just happened in Beirut, Lebanon, is actually an omen for the Israelite, the 2/3 being destroyed. You that don't want to come in, you're getting all the warnings, man. And how these fake Jews and these people basically stealing our land, living in our land, and is living off the resources. They're about to be taken out of it, bombed out of it, killed out of it, however the Lord has to do it. But it's definitely going to be by fire when it's all said and done to clean it so we can come back in there. And then boom, the next night, here you have a blood moon. Now, let's go ahead and jump to the point. It says, Joel 3:14, multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall be withered. Shalaki shall withdraw their shining. So that's going into a solar eclipse. Okay? Shalaki. Now let's go back to chapter 2. If I can get it. 2. This thing's not moving. Shalaki. Give me 1 second. Joel 2. It's a quick watch and warn. And I'm going to jump down to 27th verse. It says, I'm going to start at 28. Let me start at 27. You shall know that I am in the midst of Israel. The Lord's going to make sure, he said we're going to make sure he knows he's in the middle of us, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. All you so-called black people, because you're all so-called black people. We're not actually black, we're brown. But anyway, and that I am the Lord your God and none else. And my people shall never be ashamed. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit, and I will shew wonders in the heavens. Now when you look up this word heavens, it means sky. It means sky. To say heaven in Hebrew, just for those who don't know, the word is Shemayim. If I can get it. If not, you could download this and look it up yourself. Heaven, see? Shemayim. And it literally means sky. Visible heavens. They say visible heaven, sky, as abode of the stars. So the place that the stars dwell, the sky. Joel 2 and 27, Waslaki 30. And I will shew wonders in heavens. So things you like, amazing things. But the point being, in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. Here's the point, verse 31. The sun shall be turned into darkness. That's an eclipse. And the moon into blood. Before the great and terrible day of Yahweh Shem Yahweh shall come. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of Yahweh Shem Yahweh shall be delivered, for in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance. The Lord's not dealing with everybody, man. You're going to have to be a bloodline Israelite in this truth. So you better wake up, man. This is it. It says, as Yahweh, and I'm not putting a time limit on it, but the signs are here. It says, and Yahweh have said, and in the remnant, it's like as Yahweh, as the Lord have said, which is his true name, Yahweh. The Lord is Yahweh. As Yahweh have said, and in the remnant whom the Lord shall call, whom Yahweh shall call. And when you look this up, you can actually go look this up in Acts for you show people, well, that's the Old Testament. Well, that shows the Old Testament is still relevant because things in it is still happening. You see that? Now, let's prove that you don't have the Old Testament, the New Testament without the Old. Acts 2 and 16, but this is that which was spoken by the prophet Joel. Where did we just come out of? The book of Joel, the prophet Joel. You see? And it's quoted the same thing. And we jump down to verse 20. Everything he quoted. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before that great and notable day of the Lord come. You know what I'm saying? And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Ye men of Israel, hear these words. And we know that to really say that like that, because when you do the history on the scriptures, they were never written in verses like this. This was just put so man could understand it. But the prophets that actually wrote these words that have now been translated into English, because that's was going to become the primary language. The Lord set all this up. They put in verses so you can remember certain spots and things that were said easier. You see that? Verses having to look through a whole stream of conscience. All these words was blotched together. So that's how you know it was of the Lord. Because all these things they was just running through writing, you know, it's true. So that's that, man. So the Lord deals with signs, as it said in this verse. Yahushua of Nazareth, a man approved of God among you by miracles and wonders and signs, which God did by him in the midst of you, as yourselves also know. So you got to turn back to the Lord, man. That's what this simply going into. And I also want to go into how, but I'm going to go back to the picture real quick. See? So you can't make this up. That's complete blood. That's complete blood, man. The ones you see on the day, when Esau reported them, they look like this. The Lord turned. He said turned. So it's going to be changed. Why didn't, now my question is, why did the so-called white man not report this tonight? Because he doesn't have, the Lord doesn't call him and tell him anything. Just like we can't tell you exactly when he coming back, but we can tell you the signs, and we will never do that. Because he said you don't know the seasons. Yahushua don't even know, who people call Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to keep this going too much longer. But I do want to go ahead and show you how the so-called white man cannot be trusted, and how true this is. This is Job 11, and we're going to start with 7. Can thou by searching find out? See that? Can thou by searching find out, God? Brother seeing chariot fleets, the elder seen the chariot fleets, and then this happened later on in the night. And most people don't even know it's a blood moon right now because it wasn't reported. We wasn't told about it days in advance. Why? Can thou, Job 11 and 7, can a person, can you, as an Israelite or even as a heathen, can thou by searching find out God? What? Let's keep going. Can thou find out the Almighty unto perfection? It is high as heaven. What canst thou do? Deeper than hell. What canst thou know? And hell meaning the ground. When you look that word up, it's not a place. Hell is on earth. The measure thereof is longer than the earth and broader than the sea. So that's that, man. Like he said, it says, verse 11, for he knoweth vain men. He seeth wickedness also. Will he not then consider it? So the Lord is only dealing with those that know this truth, man. I can't tell you when a fleet is going to be outside. But I could tell you what the Lord wants us to know according to what he says, and that's in these scriptures. You know what I'm saying? The so-called white man can't do that. So we literally witnessed tonight this truth. The Lord said he's going to turn the moon into blood, and it represents death. That's really what it represents. Because the terrible day of the Lord is nothing. The great and terrible day, because the Lord is balanced, is nothing nice, man. This is Jeremiah 30 and 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Why would he have to be saved if it was a nice day? Let me get one more scripture. This is see if I can get it. I think that's Haggai. No, that's not Haggai. That might be Habakkuk 1. Let me see if it gives it to me. Yep, that's it. Amos 5. I know it's the 5th chapter or something. It's a lot. Amos 5 and 18. It says, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? So you need to find out what end it could possibly be for you by seeing what's going on. And then we're telling you, if you don't come into the truth, you're going to die. And I'm going to end with that scripture. It says, being a so-called black, Latino, or Native American, as well as the so-called Latinos and Native Americans, all you so-called black people, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord, of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. To what end is it for you? Do you know? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. See that? So you're not going to be able to escape, man. You flee from a lion, you run into a bear. You go in the house to catch a breather, now damn poisonous snake done bit you. And those just analogies for the true destruction he's really going to bring, man. So you're going to be subject to outright chaos in the day of the Lord if you don't come into this truth. And that's what these signs represent. That's why the Lord made the moon turn into blood, to show you what's getting ready to happen. He's finna kill a ton of people, man. Amos 5:20. Shall not the day of the Lord of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua be darkness and not light, even very dark, and no brightness in it? You know? So that's pretty much it on that. I'm going to get this to show you. Zechariah 13:8. And it reads, it says, and it shall come to pass that all in the land, saith the Lord, right? America, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. 2 parts of who? Well, this whole book is about the Israelites. It's a message to the Israelites and what they went through amongst different nations. And their judgment is written in it for things they have done. It's our history book. It's our instruction book. It's our culture. It's our power over the nations. So 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, because you're not going to come into this truth. But the third shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part through the fire and refine them as silver. So that fire is these trials and tribulations we getting ready to go through. The hour of temptation, the chip coming, and the so-called white man kicking your door in and possibly blowing your brains out. That's what that moon represents. It says, but if you got the Lord on your side, he going to fight for you. If you fight for this truth, he said, strive for the truth unto the death, and the Lord will fight for you, man. He said, and we'll try them as gold is tried. He going to try us. You're not going to get this kingdom by a cakewalk. You're not getting on the ship by a cakewalk. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my God. So that's pretty much what I want to get. And I do want to end this real frightful to you. This is Jeremiah, the 25th chapter. And it says, a noise, Jeremiah 25:31, a noise shall come even to the ends of the earth. For the Lord hath for Yahweh hath a controversy with the nations. All these non-Israelite nations, man. And you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians that make up the Israelite nation. He will plead with all flesh. He will give them that are wicked to the sword, saith the Lord. No, you know, and that's any killing device, man. Because no one's walking around with swords. But this word is still walking around. It's being carried around by the men that's teaching it, man. Verse 32, thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation, and a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. And the slain of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua shall be at that day, that same day, from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented, neither gathered, nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground. So it's going to be bodies. It's going to be a massacre, man. It's going to be an onslaught. So, and Yahushua is going to lead doing that. And he told you that in Matthew, the 10th chapter, and the 34th verse, it says, think not I am come to send peace. He said, think not I am come to send peace on the earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. That's what he's coming to do, man. And he's going to have to fight for this truth. He said, for I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. You see? So the Lord, no matter what age you is, you're going to have to probably go against your parents. People that so-called love you, so-called relatives, man. Because they're going to try to basically lead you to be destroyed. We read in the scriptures, he that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. So you won't be worthy to be saved, because you feared man more than the Lord. The Lord says, cease from hearing the instructions that cause thee to err. Look it up. It's in Proverbs, man. And he that loveth the son of Salakia, he that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Anything that could keep you from getting this truth and pleasing the Lord, you ain't worthy of what he can give you and do for you. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy. Well, that's going to put a lot on my shoulder. That's going to be heavy. That's the point of it being called a cross. You see? He that findeth his life shall lose it. You're going to lose the life you once knew. You're going to have a new one. You're going to spiritually die. And he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it. You're going to find what true life is about, man. That's what this thing is about. So Yahweh Shah, who people call Jesus, said he ain't come to bring peace on earth, but a sword. But guess what? When you read about him, he didn't do that when he actually walked the earth the fourth time. Why? Because Isaiah seen his second coming. That's the second coming that's promised. He's going to do that when he comes back. It tell you right here. It say, Isaiah 66:15, for behold, the Lord will come with fire and with chariots like a whirlwind. Those so-called spaceships, anyway, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword, like he said, will the Lord plead with all flesh. And the slain of the Lord shall be many. And you can read that next verse. People out here sanctifying themselves, but it's not according to knowledge, man. Don't be led by these people. If you don't come into this truth, you're going to die a horrible, horrible death. It's written. It's promised. You see that? Isaiah 9:16, for the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. So the Lord, I thought it said honor your mother and father. You got to learn the scriptures. This is Proverbs 19:27. It reads, cease, my son, to hear the instruction that causes it to err from the words of knowledge. Who is knowledge, man? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah is knowledge. All right? So if your parents not kicking this, or your uncle, your auntie, your cousin, if they're not coming with this, bro, and they trying to teach you some other way, they are not of the Lord. They're going to get you killed. You see that? And they're actually evil. Proverbs 8:13, the fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride, arrogancy, and the evil way, and the forward mouth do I hate. Counsel is mine, and sound wisdom. I am understanding. I have strength. So the Lord is simply telling you, you need to be about what he say. Because if you don't, being a so-called black, including you so-called Latinos and Native American Indians, you're going to face what this represents. You're not really ready to understand what this goes into. You don't want to see what this results in, right? So this is so-called blood moon. Lord willing, this has been edifying, you know, and some of you possibly seen it tonight. And another thing, a chariot was by it, which I have another picture of right here to the left. Those chariots. It's gonna be crazy, man. So you need to take your time and figure out, okay, let me really understand this and pray on it. Because the Lord is not some simp, so-called white man out of book. If you don't come in this truth, you will be destroyed. The blood moon happened tonight. Esau couldn't predict it. So there it is. Lord willing, has been edifying. Shalom.